everybody, good morning. It's Attorney Brooke Goff, live from our West Hartford office. This is one of my favorite paintings behind me. We actually had this made from an artist for us privately, as it goes really well in our conference room. And of course, as most of you know, when I have a vision, I try to match up vision as close as possible. So I haven't done a video in a bit. The last time I was going to do a video, the power went out. So that was fun, right? We all had fun with that for about a week or so, and it was just crazy. So I want to take this time to talk to you guys about workers' compensation. People are getting back to work now, right? And that's great. But you got to remember, the more people that go back to work, the more the injuries happen. And I like to talk to you guys and give you guys like the Reader's Digest version of what benefits you're entitled to and what you need to do if you're hurt at work. So firstly, there's acronyms in workers' comp. Many people just call me, other than for the consultation, they call me to ask me questions. What does TT mean? What does TPD mean? What does PPD mean? These adjusters keep using these terms and I do not know what it means. That's so important, guys. You have to know the lingo, especially if you choose to take this on your own, which again, I don't recommend. So I'm going to get into that. Then I'm going to talk to you guys really briefly just about the papers that need to be filed for workers' comp. I should be able to keep this under 15 minutes or so. And obviously, if you guys have questions, you can call us. Our number's posted in the message here, but it's 203-399-0000, extension 1. You can always reach me by email, Brooke, BROOKE, at golflawgroup.net, or you can follow us on Facebook, right? Or you can message us on Facebook too. So firstly, my name is Attorney Brooke Goff, as most of you guys know, and I am the founding partner of Goff Law Group. We are a personal injury workers' compensation firm in the state of Connecticut. We don't do real estate, we don't do divorce, I do not do criminal. I do have really good names I could give you guys for those things, but we only do personal injury and workers' compensation. And we are amongst the minority in Connecticut that only do this. Most firms do a little bit of everything. I find that when you do that, you become a jack of all trades, master of none. We want to be the master of one, right? So workers' comp, personal injury, that's us. We are the next generation of injury attorneys. Obviously, check us out on our Facebook page, or you can check us out on our website at www.golflawgroup.net. All consultations are free, guys, okay? All the consultations are free. So you can call us at any time, day, night. We have attorneys on staff that are taking your calls, including myself. I'm also in the rotation. And we're happy to answer any questions you have. You can check out the attorneys that work with me by my side on our website as well, golflawgroup.net. All right, so let's get started. Let's talk about the benefits, the acronym benefits, because I get tons of these questions, all right? So you have TT. TT, and this is only for workers' comp, guys. TT means temporary total. That means that the doctor has said as a result of your work injury, you're unable to do any form of work, okay? Anything. You can't sit, you can't stand, you're incapable of reporting to work and doing anything for work. That is TT. Your benefit should be your top comp benefit for that. So if your comp benefit is $800 a week, then that's what you should be receiving, which is about 60 to 70% of your normal pay. All right, so just remember that, guys, it's TT. Let's say you go in to see the doctor and the doctor says, hey, I think you have a light duty work capacity. You just became TPD, temporary partial disabled, all right? Temporary partial disability is what we call it. This means the doctor said you can do you can't do your job, but you can do some other things, or your job with accommodations. So people that can only go in 4 hours on, 4 hours off, or if you can't lift more than 5 or 10 pounds, or you can't do A, B, and C, this is temporary partial. Now, for some people, guys, not everybody, some of you, your benefit amount will change, all right? Depends on where you are in the comp benefits. So remember that when you're begging your doctor, oh, doc, I'm going crazy at home, I want to go back to work. Well, remember that, because for some people that you're already getting, 68 to 70% of your benefit, that drops a little, not a lot, but a little bit more for some people for temporary partial disability. That's why when my clients come in, I run all the numbers. I get their full indemnity history because, guys, just in case you didn't know, your comp rate's based on your 12 months prior to you getting injured, okay? So I run an indemnity history, and then I calculate what your temporary total benefits are going to be, what your temporary partial benefits are going to be, and obviously your PPD, which we're going to get into in a minute, your permanent partial disability benefits. So you at least know what you're facing, right? You know what's happening, what's going to happen, what's going to come down the pipe. And to get all that though, we have to get the indemnity history from the adjuster, which by the way, guys, they're never, I mean, we have a hard time getting it, have to get it through hearings no matter somebody representing themselves getting this. So you're kind of, think about this, right? You have a comp case and you're just assuming they're paying you the right amount. You want to hear a scary statistic? 5 out of 10 clients that come into my office are being paid the wrong amount. 50%. Now I can tell you, for if you put this in other perspectives in life, you have a 50% shot of hitting the lotto, for instance. Most of you guys would go withdraw your 401ks in 5 seconds, right? Well, guess what? 50% chance you're paying incorrectly. How do you figure that out? You either go get one of the comp books and you take 4 pieces of paper and you try to calculate it like the old days like we always did, or you have an attorney that's got access, which not all of them do, by the way, we do, but not all attorneys do. You want a good question to ask a comp attorney in a consultation. Do you have comp tools? If they look at you like they don't know what it is, you need to run. If they look at you like, oh, comp tools, yeah, sure, then you're probably in the right place. You don't want to go to somebody that only does comp as this afterthought, or only has 10% of their practice comp. You really want to be somewhere where it's at least 50% of their practice. So comp tools, I plug in information off of a form called a 1A. I fill in, excuse me, your average weekly wage. I then go down and I fill in how many exemptions you have. And if you're blind, disabled, et cetera, which most people it's no for. And then guess what? Bam, pops out all the comp rates I could ever ask for, okay? In 2 seconds, okay? So that 3-hour thing where you're probably gonna forget to carry a 0 or carry a 1 or whatever, I just did in 3 seconds, right? And I know it's right, and now I have an argument to send to the adjuster saying you're underpaying my client by $50 a week. Guys, $50 a week, $5 a week, it's something. You guys are getting 67 to 70% of your benefit. Now, but I'll put it in perspective for you guys. Let's say this goes on for a year. That's 52 weeks, $5 a week. That's almost $300. I mean, guys, you guys all, I mean, I don't have to tell you. You guys all feel the funk with workers' comp, right? You guys are paycheck to paycheck. An extra $300 for a lot of people would go far. So that's your comp rate. So the TP usually decreases that rate even a little bit more, all right? But not always, some people. So then you have another acronym, PPD. What does this mean? So let me just first say it's permanent partial disability. I'm going to walk you back. I'm going to tell you what most people think a comp case consists of and why some people don't hire lawyers erroneously. They think, okay, my employer's paying my medical and they're paying for me to be out of work. Awesome. Why would I get a lawyer, right? Well, you also probably don't know the benefits you may be entitled to outside of that. Can't tell you how many people see these videos and call me and they said, look, you talked about this rating thing. I don't get it. I never got a rating and I broke my foot, and I hurt my back and I still have problems with my back, or I broke my hand. You never got a rating, really? So I look up the file and I see there's no voluntary agreement. There's no Form 42 filed in the comp site. I'm like, maybe the back injury from 2016 where the guy just thought that his employer paid his wages and then, paid his medicals, he was done. No, guys, there's another benefit. It's called permanent partial disability, and almost every case is entitled to it. So let's do some quick math for our friend from 2016 with the back injury, right? So let's just say, for easy math for me, please, his comp rate is $1,000 a week, right? And let's say he has a 10%, he hires me and I say, look, I work with his doctor, I work with comp, get it approved, have a couple of hearings, blah, blah, blah. And then I say, look, we've got approval, go in to see the doctor that you saw. He's gonna do an impairment if there is one warranted. He goes in, he gets a 10% to the back. The guy's comp rate's $1,000, right? As you said, it's $1,000. So you take, so you guys might not know this, but there's a comp book and it assigns body parts, everything. Arm, hand, leg, back, heart, brain, genital areas. Everything has, toes, fingers, everything has an amount of weeks assigned to it. A back is 374. So if he's got a 10% rating, that's 37.4 weeks. You know what that's worth to this guy that just thought, hey, they did it all right? My employer paid my medical bills and paid for my wages. They did me a solid. Well, guess what your employer, well, it's not your employer. Guess what the insurance company didn't tell you? They didn't tell you about the PPD, and they're not going to tell you. Why are they going to tell you that? That's up to you, okay? They're not going to. So guess what that's worth for this guy? $37,400, a 10% rating on a $1,000 comp rate at the back. He had no idea. He's like, what? Like, what? I'm confused. $37,000. Now, my fee was 20% of that. I don't know what that equals. It's what, $6,000, something like that. So he still walks with 30,000 plus, right? And my fee's irrelevant because he had no idea this was even a benefit offered to him. And he still works there, by the way. You keep your job, guys. This is called permanency benefits, okay? This is what the attorneys get a fee from. And this is what we make sure occurs, obviously, that there is a rating if there is entitled one. Now, he could have went to the doctor and the doctor said, you've made a miraculous recovery, you're not entitled to an impairment rating. But that doesn't happen often, guys. Actually, I can name on two hands out of the thousands of cases I've handled how many times that's happened. So, and guys, those of you that work for the state that watch this video, state doesn't settle comp cases really. If we're lucky, we get them to settle 2 or 3 a year out of tens of thousands that are brought. All right, so this is your only chance to get benefits, okay? So that's that. For those of you that have a job that you're still working at, you can't settle unless you don't work there anymore. So this is a benefit you can get to really like basically exhaust all benefits until you no longer work there. For those of you that don't work at your jobs anymore and didn't get the rating, you go get the rating, we negotiate a settlement for you. So guys, I mean, this is huge, but people don't know about it because you guys don't understand comp. You guys are taking on this monster by yourselves, thinking you're keeping the peace. The only person, the insurance company has the last laugh when you guys have no idea that you just gave up the baby, $40,000, $35,000. They have the last laugh. This doesn't come from your employer, it comes from the insurance. So you gotta stop making that connection between the two. What other benefits? Mileage. How many people hire me because they hear these videos and I talk about mileage? They have to pay you round trip mileage to and from your doctor's appointments. I think right now it's 50, 57, 58 cents, something like this. Guys, for you, those of you that have treated or that go to physical therapy or chiropractic care 3 times a week, round trip, that adds up. Let's say it's 5 miles one way, that's 10 miles a day. Let's just call it 55 cents. That's $5.50 a week. Let's say you do that for 6 months. 26 times 550, that's like $1,400 in mileage. And you guys are just leaving it on the table because you don't know and they don't tell you. And people say to me, well, why don't they tell me? Why would they? They don't have I mean, guys, this is, you're in the Wild West over here. The legislatures aren't saying you need to tell these people this. No way. And attorneys sure aren't getting on here like I do every week. It used to be, now it's been every other week with the crazy 2020 stuff. But they're not getting on here telling you why, because they don't think you're going to hire them if you know. But I assure you, people continue to hire me. 1, they appreciate my transparency. And 2, they don't want to take it on their own. And they realize there's nothing to lose by hiring me because they're still going to get way more than they would ever get on their own. So it's an irrelevant. And they don't want to go to hearings. It's a legal proceeding, guys. This is serious stuff, okay? A hearing is a legal proceeding. That whatever you say in that hearing can be used against you later. And it will be. Trust me, the insurance companies, they don't play. The insurance companies have lawyers, guys. You may be talking to adjusters, but they have lawyers. Their lawyers are what are in the background telling them how to do this. Many people don't file comp claims because they're trying to protect their employer. Guys, we pay for insurance for this reason, okay? We pay for insurance for this reason. Utilize, if you get hurt at work, you need to file a comp claim. After you file that comp claim and the insurance company sent it off to the and the employer sent it off to the insurance, employer's done. Done. Afterthought, moving on to the next thing. Guys, you're only self-sabotaging yourselves, and I don't know why. Because most of you, I mean, you don't go on WebMD, find a problem, and then try to treat the problem. You go on WebMD, you find a problem, then you go to a doctor to try to address it, right? Well, why are you guys doing that here? You all self-sabotage. I don't understand it. Talk to a lawyer. It doesn't mean you got to hire one, right? Now, most people that do talk to me hire me, but it doesn't mean you have to hire a lawyer. But you need to know what you're facing. Now, the guy with the case that's from 2016 is going to have a hard time, guys. He's going to have a really hard time. He's going to have a hard time because the case is now 4 years old. It's easier to take care of these problems, and the leverage and the benefit of taking care of these problems earlier in the case rather than later are much in your favor. So if somebody comes to me from a case in 2016, hasn't treated in 2 years, saw my video, and they got graded 2 years ago, guess what, guys? The best time to settle that case was 2 years ago. Now, he can still settle it now, but he's going to take a haircut. It doesn't make sense. Stop the self-sabotage. Get legal advice early, okay? It's free. Any attorney that tries to charge you for it, guys, they don't know what the hell they're doing, so move on. All right, so we talked about your benefits, right? We talked about TT, TP, and PPD. Then we talked about mileage. So let me just talk to you about a couple of the important forms, and I'm going to go off. When you get hurt, Form 30C needs to be filed. It needs to be sent certified to the employer and to workers' comp. You can choose which jurisdiction your case is in, either where you got hurt or where you live, okay, where you live. So if you live in New Britain, but you got hurt in Norwich at work, my recommendation, you file that in New Britain, because if you need to attend a hearing, you're in New Britain. You don't have to go all the way to Norwich to attend the hearing. And if you're not working, let's say you're out on TT and there's a hearing, now you got to schlep all the way up to Norwich. Doesn't make sense, okay? Obviously, when you have a lawyer, lawyers cover all the hearings. That's a 30C form. It has to be filed within a year. If you don't file it within a year and your employer didn't pay you any wages or any of your medical bills, you're SOL, as we call it. You're out of luck, okay? There's nothing you can do. Guys, you can try to appeal it all day long, but the rules are clear, the statutes are clear, okay? There's a Form 43 that the employer has to file within 28 days of the Form 30C being filed. Now, this is outside COVID. The deadlines have changed a bit, but if they don't file that within 28 days, they forfeit their right to challenge this injury, whatever injuries are listed on the 30C in the future. That's a big deal, guys, okay? So keep that in mind. Count the days, because we sure do, all right? The mailbox rule applies here, by the way. Form 1A, I call it the Bible of the case. It's the most important form. That's how much we know. That's how we know how much your benefits are supposed to be. You got to fill this out. Another tidbit: if you have a second job, I don't know what you do. If you deliver newspapers, if you waitress, if you're a barista, whatever the case might be, that gets counted in your comp rate, guys. Right? There's a place on the 1A called concurrent employment. I can't tell you how many people skip over this section, and when I ask why didn't you fill this out, I didn't know what it means. Guys, how are you skipping over on a legal document something you don't know what it means? Why? It doesn't make sense, and it costs these people hundreds and thousands of dollars. Don't. If you have a second job, it goes in this concurrent employment section. Again, hiring a lawyer, they're going to do all this for you, and they're going to make sure it's right. Well, hiring the right lawyer anyways. That's a 1A form. We utilize that to calculate your comp rate. Don't just take what the insurance company tells you and run with it. Oh, we calculated your comp rate at $600. Why are you believing them? You don't know what they did. How did you come up with this? What did you do? I can tell you 5 out of 10 cases we bring in, the comp rates are wrong. So that's huge odds. So plan on, you have a 50% shot that you're not being paid the right amount when you're out of work, okay? So that is a 1A form. 2 forms you guys need to know about. If anything comes in the mail certified in workers' comp, it should be a fire form. It should be so hot you can't wait to get it open, get it out of your hands, okay? Form 43s come certified outside COVID. Form 36s come certified, and I still think with COVID they're coming certified. Guys, the Form 43 has to be filed within 28 days. That they're trying to deny your case. But a Form 36, they're trying to stop or change over your benefits. Both bad news. If they certify it, they're trying to prove to the commission that you got it, and now your time starts ticking to object and or move for a hearing. Don't look at it and be afraid of what you're going to see in there. Most people throw them in the pile. Guys, if something comes certified in workers' comp, it's important. They're trying to cover themselves to prove to a commissioner, I sent this to John Smith. He didn't object. Now I want to stop his benefits because I don't know, he failed to show up for a doctor's appointment. If you don't object, those are approved administratively, guys. Guess what that means? Check, stop. Now, to get them reinstated, and this is outside COVID, it's 4 to 6 weeks. You just lost, and if you're somebody with $1,000 comp rate, you just lost $4,000 to $6,000 before they fix it. That is crazy. And you got to prove that you're going to have to claim ignorance if you represent yourself saying, I didn't know, I put it in the pile, whatever the case might be. It's dangerous, guys. You're talking about thousands of dollars potentially here. Why? I don't know. Why people do this, I don't know. So those are the big forms you need to know. Form 42 is the form that the doctor puts your rating on. However, that comes later in the case, and hopefully by then you've realized how much you need a lawyer and you're not dealing with Form 42s. My hopes are you guys see this and you don't get much further than halfway through filling out your 30C before you call a lawyer. Call me. I can help you. My staff can help you. This is what we do. 50% of my practice is comp, 50% is personal injury. Okay, so we went over the forms and we went over those crazy acronyms, right? The next video I do is going to be on settlement because you guys asked me all about settlement, why, when, where, when, how, and I'll leave you with this. If you settle your case in Connecticut, workers' comp will pay for 2 years of continuing education for you. That's right, state school. Think about being a phlebotomist around your restrictions, you know. So you want to be a phlebotomist, you want to be, electrician, you want to be HVAC. As long as it's around your restrictions, comp will pay for it. Guys, there's a lot of benefits that you may not know about. I think I've probably covered a ton. I do this because I want to educate you guys and let you guys make educated decisions whether or not you're going to do this on your own or with a lawyer. My number's posted here. You can call me anytime, 203-399-0000, extension 1, and I gave you the other details. Guys, share the video. You never know which one of your friends, family members, or them themselves have been hurt at work. In this 15 minutes or whatever this has been at this point, it could be the difference between thousands of dollars for them or, you know, multiple hours and them trying to get answers that I just answered for you right now, all right? So don't trust the insurance companies. I don't know why you would. Consult with an attorney so that you know the path that you're taking and know your benefits. Education's power, guys. All right, I'm signing off. Take it easy, guys. Share the video, like our Facebook page. We post these all the time. And good luck to everybody. Hopefully we're not going into another round of COVID. We all can pray, and if you're like me, I have a little kid as well. Good luck to all of you that will be homeschooling your kids and or part of the time with the hybrid program. We're available 24/7, Monday through Sunday. Call us if you have any questions. As always, it's my pleasure. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.